Howdy, 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 all you cool cats and kittens. Welcome back to the great state of Illinois.
What? Is
That's,
that where Pelican Town is?
it is not, unfortunately. No. Well, fortunately for Pelican Town, unfortunately for Illinois.
Roasted. I have been there, but
You've been to
not
Illinois?
not recently enough to have opinions.
Wow. Well, that is a fact I didn't know about you.
Yeah, when in high school during junior year, I remember that because I had to work on a project for my U.S. history class while I was there. Not
Well,
related to why I was there.
was this a push
Yep,
with the infamous Mr. Kernack?
Mr. K. We never called him that. I don't know why I said that.
That was wiggity wonderful, Berkeley.
Earlier today, I was messaging Jared on Facebook, as I am wont to do, and I said, "Wiggity wonderful," and immediately regretted it. I
It
thought that was a
feels
safe place, but apparently not.
it's not safe from you, is what we found out.
Unless, yeah, that's true. I did just tell on myself. Um, unless we consider this a safe place, I think it's fair to take embarrassing moments from one safe place to another. Still qualifies as safe. That's what I've learned from all my cybersecurity training, anyway.
Yes, password sharing is fine. We've got some hardwood trees, I think, that are happy and ready to be cut down out here in the desert.
Ooh, nice.
And I'm going to plant some more, but I'm going to plant them somewhere else that is safe. You know what,
Shoot.
Berkeley?
What?
I didn't bring any bombs out here.
Oh
So,
man, that's gonna make it hard to cut down trees.
also, I think I just messed up by planting right next to the cliff. That was probably dumb.
I also messed up because I forgot that I went to Chicago with my wife in the past year. Thank you, Megan, in the chat for reminding us. Uh, I forgot Chicago was in Illinois.
I That's understandable. I don't often
It
think about
doesn't feel
Illinois.
true. How can Chicago be in Illinois?
Yeah, it
Doesn't
can't.
add up.
Hmm. It's what the government wants you to think.
Mm-hmm. Susie Moo says Wiggity Wonderful is now going to be said exclusively in this chat.
Oh no, that's
Does that mean
wiggity
it's not
wonderful.
allowed to be said anywhere else? Is that the kind of exclusive you meant? She also says restart the day, no bombs implanted next to the cliff. Uh, we've never restarted a day because of our poor decisions. I like living with our mistakes.
That's the that's the one
Part
thing
of
in
our
my
brain.
life that I've managed to do, and I managed to do it because I didn't have a choice.
We live with our mistakes, like starting a whole stream around playing Stardew Valley without tools.
Naming our stream after it, and then proceeding to play other games. That
Yeah, it's been a branding nightmare.
you can tell that we were not thinking very far ahead.
Androxima says Chicago's way cooler than Illinois. Yeah, you get it. Yeah, doesn't doesn't fit. Has Chicago considered moving to a different state?
We're gonna join Wisconsin, or maybe Michigan would be closer. I don't know.
One thing I learned about Chicago is that at one point their Great Lake that they're right next to was getting it smelled bad from all of the meat processing that was happening in the city. And so their solution was to reverse the flow of the river so that the pollution would just sail on down to Missouri instead of into their Great Lake, and it worked. This is
Wow.
like early 20th century, and one of the top feats of engineering in U.S. history to reverse the route of that river.
How is there
So
enough water
moving
that
to
you can even
Wisconsin,
do that?
I have no idea how it happened.
Anyway, sorry. If they moved to Wisconsin, they would have to live with Meat River again. So that's what's stopping them.
Oh yeah, there we go. Maybe they like it there. They put in all that work to make it not smell bad.
You know, you could just stop like polluting the river with meat pieces.
No,
Maybe.
because it was part of their brand. It's all the
Oh
meat
wow.
processing.
They gotta live with it, I guess.
Ooh, Meg says that Jared has had moments of crackly audio.
I do not know what is causing this. I am listening to myself right now and I cannot hear it. So bear with me. I will do what I can. I'll try to
Give
put
him the
myself
old,
somewhere interesting.
give him the old works on my machine.
Oh no. I have blundered into a cutscene with Clint creepily standing in the bushes listening to uh, people I don't remember their names talk. Clint. Uh, okay, first off, impressive jump to jump from Emily's doorstep all the way to that bush. You have the legs. I mean, are you working iron with your legs? Because that might explain the distance there. That's like probably 30 feet. What did you just say? You'll never upgrade your tools again if I don't ask her out. Surprise for you. I'll never upgrade my tools again. Ever.
Too bad that we didn't know about that cutscene when we started, because that would have been a great like canon reason for this whole dumb experiment.
Right. Except then we'd have to be supportive of Clint, which I don't know.
We'll know if we like were not upgrading our tools specifically so he wouldn't have any leverage over us.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. All right, Clint. Step one of successfully asking somebody out is not to interrupt a conversation they're having with their friend.
I don't know. That's not what I've learned from every teen rom-com, Jared.
What have you learned? Share with me
Um,
your ways.
you just gotta like saunter up the hallway of the high school and like just absolutely interrupt whatever was going on before and insert yourself where you're not wanted, but secretly are.
Mm.
I don't know. I wasn't paying a lot of attention. And then say wickedy wonderful. Thank you, Susie, for that addition. Chance says sauntering is key. Yep. That's the only way to do it. That's definitely the common theme from all of the teen rom-coms I've seen. Always sauntering. Oh, how did that work out for High School Berkeley? Meg asks. It didn't. Yeah, I didn't try.
Well, I don't think.
Paralyzed by fear.
Yeah, you weren't able to saunter, really, is the
Hmm.
problem. If you had sauntered, you would have been successful.
Yeah. And the few times I did manage to saunter, I immediately ruined it by saying wickedy wonderful.
That's rough, buddy. Oh, by the way, speaking of that's rough, buddy, who is watching the live action Avatar: The Last Airbender on Netflix? Anybody? I did this week, and I've got some opinions.
Tell us your opinions. I haven't seen it. I've seen lots of stuff about it on Reddit, though.
Okay, it is far, far better than the live action movie, but I feel like it is a 5 out of 10 for me.
Hmm.
Um, Particularly because I don't know if it's the writing or the casting or a mixture, but none of the characters I think Katara is probably the closest to feeling like her character in the animated series. Um, it's clear that the writers had to take some liberties with the plot to try to fit Netflix's 8 episode series or 8 episode season in format. But I think that it hurts some of the stories that I found really meaningful, like Zuko's lead up to rescuing Aang from prison, like I think it's called the Blue Mask, and that type of thing. I was most disappointed by Uncle Iroh, to be honest. Not that the casting for him is awful, but they just didn't quite get the feel right for whatever reason. And you know, I can't really blame them because I think that trying to live up to the nostalgia of a show that was so loved like that is extremely difficult. But it's so hard for me to separate that from my feelings about the live series. So I would say 5 out of 10. I found it entertaining. It wasn't a bad experience, but it wasn't an amazing experience either. Are we being bombed by a witch in a biplane?
I think so. I think this is... No, that's too dark. Mystery boxes can now be found. I did not know about this. Is this a 1.6 thing?
I don't know.
Let me catch up on chat real fast. Well, first of all, does anyone know if that's a 1.6 thing? Susie says yes, they are a 1.6 thing. Cool. Let's go look for some. Androxima says he started it, didn't make it all the way through, stopped on episode 4. I feel like stopping at episode 4 of an 8-episode season is not a great review of the show. I don't want to read too much into that. Sounds like not your fave then. Meg and Susie say that you need to upgrade your backpack because we have so much money. I'll let you do with that what you will. And the actor for Uncle Iroh is so great in Kim's Convenience. Bummer they couldn't showcase his acting very well in the Avatar show. I have not seen Kim's Convenience other than just over Meg's shoulder sometimes. But yeah, it seems like pretty different tones. And another request to fix the audio.
Okay. Let me see what I can do.
I feel like the squishing like 20 episodes per season in the animated show. A huge number. Squeezing that into 8 episodes, I can see how that would not go super well. I feel like one of the charms of the show is how much of it is just not plot relevant. It's all about like the character development and the world building and the tone setting, especially. Oh, Meg is crying about the audio.
Is this fixed at all? Because I can't tell on my end.
It sounds fixed to me. Maybe keep talking.
Okay. I can try that. I'm glad that my opinions weren't completely
Ooh, got bad again for me. I
good
don't know if everyone else is hearing the same thing.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do something that might crash the stream. So,
Okay, fun.
stand by.
Is it restart your computer? Because I bet it will.
It is not restart my computer. It is restart my audio interface.
Okay.
Oh boy. Did it work?
Are we back? Do we have audio?
I think I've got you now. Let me see. Say something for me.
Okay. I'm gonna keep talking in case you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me. Great. Androxima says the bending is great and most of the fighting is solid. Okay, that is nice to get right. I feel like I haven't watched a lot of the Star Wars shows lately, but the clips I've seen seems like they were kind of slipping on the special effects and the fighting, which is a shame to lose that if you're also not going to have killer plots.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. They did a really good job um, with a lot of the bending, and I think they did a phenomenal job with the choreography of the fighting.
Hmm. And we've got some better reviews from Susie and Chance. It's like 7.5 out of 10. Nice. And a fun watch, says Susie.
Yeah, I've got a friend up here who enjoyed it. Um, actually recommended it pretty solidly, which is why I decided to take the time to watch it. Um, and yeah, I think there are a lot of people out there who really do enjoy it. So you're not alone.
Yeah, but Parma says, let's just switch the comparison to M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong.
Yes, that would
Yeah,
be wiggity
then the
wonderful.
show's great. I actually watched that movie before I saw the animated series, so I did not
Oh no.
appreciate it, how bad it was. In fact, I still haven't appreciated how bad it was because I had forgotten much of the movie by the time I saw the animated show. Just sparing myself that pain. Susie says no crackle since the fix. Thanks for working on that.
Okay. Well, hopefully it holds out. We'll see.
Cool. Speaking of shows, I know everyone's probably sick of hearing about this, but I'm going to talk about it one more time. The Fallout show was so good. Um, I will say it ended up being like quite a bit gory and a little bit of sexual content. So if that's not your jam, this show probably won't be your jam. But the writing was so good. Just every single episode, I was riveted for the whole hour and excited to see what came next. I don't think I've watched a season of a show that fast since having a kid. Uh, it's been
Wow.
a while. And super pleased with how they adapted the universe and the lore. I think they did a stellar job, and I recommend it.
Yeah, that's good to hear. They're I don't know. They're making a Borderlands movie, and I can't tell if it's going to be a disaster or if it's going to be successful. But they cast a lot of like very high profile people as the kind of the set of, I think it's four Vault Hunters, and I think they might be relying too much just on what I've seen so far. They might be relying too much on the celebrity names rather than the writing. So I'm glad to hear that Fallout did it right. Hopefully, Borderlands can also do it right.
Sorry, I got distracted because Chance pointed out that it said we're playing Redactyl. I wonder how often people pop into our streams hoping for one game and then get disappointed because we are pretty bad at updating that. Thanks for the shout out, Chance. Uh, think that should be fixed now. Um, yeah, Meg says the Fallout show used a ton of practical effects and had a great blend of suspense, humor, and action. Yeah, really good in a show and really good for adapting Fallout. That they nailed the tone so well. Susie's making fun of you for not buying a backpack upgrade.
RIP, I deserve more because I have just blown up 4 trees that were not hardwood. I don't know what they were or why they were here, but they're gone now.
Oh, that might have been our sap factory.
They didn't have tappers on them, and I made the mistake of assuming, and we know what assuming does.
Hmm. Whoa, I got Gold Star mayonnaise. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Is that new?
Yeah,
No,
it's
that's
Cool
not
Whip.
new. I'm just forgetting. This is Cool Whip. Yuck. Androxmo, we should just change it to redacted. There we go. Then we don't have to change it ever. Just leave it. Whew. Um, you been playing anything cool lately?
I have been playing a game my brothers bought me called Helldivers 2,
Ooh.
and it's pretty fun. If any of you have played Destiny, I would. It's tough to compare to other games, but it's kind of a 4-man squad, and then you go fight aliens, and it's very tongue in cheek, making fun of America, military industrial complex, and I don't know. It's cool. It's pretty fun. A lot of teamwork and a lot of shooting. And those are 2 things that I like in games. So I would say that
Nice.
it's working out well. I've also been playing the old or the remake of the old Star Wars Battlefront games. They had a rough launch, but single player, which is what I've played mostly of it, was not affected by some of the or most of the problems that they had at launch. So that's been really fun to relive the nostalgia of Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2.
Nice. Chance points out that there was some drama with Sony and Helldivers. Did you run into any issues with that or have any opinions?
Yeah. So they decided, I don't know who made this call, but Helldivers was going to require that you link your game with a PlayStation account to be able to play it, even if you were playing on PC and purchased it through the Steam store. And a lot of people got upset about that. Some people were not bothered by it, but I don't like making accounts for platforms I don't own, especially if I'm not playing the game on the platform to begin with. I think it's silly, and I think it's an example of. I think they might have been doing it for compatibility purposes. I don't really know, because there is crossplay with consoles and PC. But for myself, I'm not a PlayStation owner. I probably won't ever be a PlayStation owner because um, I've spent too much money on building a computer and now I have to live with that. And I'm not a fan of requiring people to make accounts to play games. I think it's lame in any case, but especially if it's not on the platform that you purchased or are playing on.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
think
super fair.
people got mad about it enough that they have dropped that requirement. So whatever its purpose was, apparently wasn't critical to the success of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it had been going for like a month without that requirement, right?
Yeah. All right, Berkeley, we now have 27 hardwood.
Nice. Um, I can't remember if there's anything else we wanted to use that for other than just saving it to get to Ginger Island. I think maybe let's just save it to get to Ginger Island.
Yeah, was there a house upgrade that we needed?
Oh, probably a house upgrade, yeah.
Okay, I've also got a bunch of wood and oak resin, which I assume we're using to make kegs.
Yes. I want
Okay.
that for kegs.
How's the old keg building? What is this called?
Shed?
Shed. Is this just a shed?
Yep, that's that's the government
Wow.
name for it.
That's pretty wild. I would definitely have to pay like $2,000 a month to live in something this size. That's a 2024 mansion right there.
Yeah, this game is so old. It was like realistic back when it came out for that to be a shed. The 1.7 update's actually going to make it small and crappy. Maybe put in some lead pipes.
Add fentanyl to the Stardew Valley mix up. Yeah.
Okay, Chance says about Helldivers. They released worldwide and then last week announced that you have to log in with a PlayStation Network account. The big issue is that users in over 177 countries would have lost access since PlayStation Network isn't live in those regions. 200,000 review bumps later, and they reversed the decision. Jeez, those are some numbers. The reviews and the number of countries where that wasn't going to be.
I had
Yeah,
forgotten about
insane.
the user access angle, and which shows you that I just only think about myself.
Yeah, that's some American privilege that I have that I read 177 countries and it doesn't even cross my mind that maybe America might be one of them.
Right? Hello. Sorry, I'm not good at writing letters. I made one metal bar too many, and I thought you might need it. Clint, the blacksmith. Clint, you have just given me a gold bar. We don't have a reference for how many ounces of gold that is, but I'm assuming that it's a lot. And you probably should have just like sold it or kept it. Metal's not going bad. If you're going to use it later, this is why we can't have nice things, Clint.
Listen, if anyone wants to send me a gold bar, I'm not even going to care how nice the letter is. So don't apologize for being bad at writing letters.
True. Also, don't spend the first two sentences of your letter, um, yeah, apologizing. That's exactly what you just said.
That was maybe the best advice I got in my high school. One of my high school writing classes was don't apologize for your art before you present it. Clearly, I haven't taken it to heart, but it's aspirational. It sounds like good advice.
Howdy, 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 all you cool cats and kittens becomes sorry, 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 all you cool cats and kittens.
Susie says, speaking of recent games we've been playing, Meg and I have been playing a lot of Disney Dreamlight Valley. Nice. That one is like, oh, what's the name for it? Live service, right? Where they're just continuously providing updates to it and new content. Based on what Meg's told me, it seems like the best current example of a live service game that is actually doing what it promises to do and delivering on the potential. Meg is back in her Dreamlight Valley era. Scar is still hot, and I'm not sorry about thinking that. Nice.
What is Dreamlight Valley? It's a Disney game, presumably,
Oh
but
yeah,
is it
yeah,
like an RPG?
yeah. It's kind of similar to Animal Crossing, uh, you move into a valley with all the Disney characters. I think there's something like wrong with the valley, some curse or enchantment, and you're just doing little odd errands for Disney characters and building up a house and or island. Correct me if I'm wrong, since we have two avid players in the chat. I know Meg's been playing on the Switch. Seems like a nice, cozy game. It's a valley. Sorry. What did I not say valley? Doesn't matter. Okay, I need to go buy so much iron and copper so that we can make some more kegs. I have been in a big replaying stint, just replaying lots of games. I've been replaying Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which might be my favorite game of all time. One of the first ones I played when I got into real gaming, and it's just still so beautiful, and the fighting mechanics feel so good. Story's good too.
Do the mechanics for the fighting feel good because it's more um cutscene, like choreographed feeling, like it's showy and you're doing moves, whereas in like Skyrim
Yeah,
you're just smashing buttons.
yeah, definitely more choreographed than Skyrim. There's a lot more like parrying and dodging are a lot more important. I would say it's like a higher skill required than Skyrim. Not that the skill is what makes it fun, but like it feels good to get better at it. Okay, I guess the skill is what makes it fun. Um, yeah, and you just feel like so powerful. You very quickly become the most powerful person in the game world, and get to just tear through ancient Greece, cutting up enemies.
Berkeley, what
Oh
is
shoot, you
happening
know
to
that'd be
me?
cool. Are you doing drugs?
I I didn't think so. I thought I was just listening to like a song.
Well, I should have asked if the song had drugs.
I didn't think that that was something that could happen. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Okay, I fell behind on chat again. Oh, I forgot Susie's played AC Odyssey. We need to talk about it because I don't know many people that have played it. Um, Meg says Susie Moo and I are also doing our first playthrough of Divinity Original Sin 2, and it's super fun so far. Okay, so that was the previous game made by Larian Studios, who made Baldur's Gate 3, and I've heard it's very similar and really good.
Do you think the bird will eat fruit? No,
Worth a
he just
shot.
shakes around a little bit. Hmm.
Hey, Sinus Relief is here. Welcome. It's been a minute.
Welcome. Berkeley, if you were a kid named Jazz, or I'm going to call Alex a kid, or Vincent. No, Vincent's already full. Where would you hang out on a rainy day? I need to give them fruit.
um, you said Jazz or Vincent?
Yeah, I think
They're
Jazz or Alex. Vincent, I think, was already full up.
okay. I think Alex just hangs out at his house mostly. In front of his house. He lives with George and Um, Evelyn.
Okay, I just ran into him by the dog.
Meg says Jazz is going to be at the library or at Marnie's house.
Okay, I'll check the library again. I think I might have been there too early.
One of the things that changed in 1.6 is that now jam and wine change color based on what fruit they're made from, and I love it. It's delightful. It's a good change.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, museum is still empty.
Hmm.
So must be Marnie's. Man, Willie's hat is just the worst. The way it like wiggles as he walks. Look at it. It's flapping.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
So, I know this doesn't fall into games, but I've been listening to some books, and for the last 2 years running, I've attended a book party at your house, Berkeley. And
Mm-hmm.
this last year, each year there's a white elephant gift exchange, and it's books. And this year I got a Buddhist book. And then what happened to it, Berkeley?
And then I stole it
You stole it.
as
That's
part
right.
of the White Elephant gift exchange.
So, and me being me, I didn't write down the title, but I did remember the author. So then I went out and I went on Audible and got a book by the same author. And it's about Buddhism. So the author's name, I'm going to butcher it because I'm not from that part of the world, but I think his name is Thich Nhat Hanh. Let me look at it.
It's
Nope,
Thich
I
Nhat
said it
Hanh.
wrong. Yep, Thich Nhat Hanh. And the book title is The Heart of Buddhist Teaching. And it's kind of an introduction to Buddhism and the concepts and a little bit about the history and the different sects of Buddhism. But I've really enjoyed so far the discussion about suffering and particularly kind of the attitude of compassion and embracing the suffering and then identifying it and self-compassion in regard to our experience with the different challenges we have. It's been really cool. I'm only about 4 chapters in, so I'm not very far in, but it has been a very emotional read for me because I think that message of self-compassion is easy for me to ignore because I don't think along those lines very often, right? If I make a mistake, that's something I want to improve and I hold myself accountable for that, or, you know, maybe too accountable for it and beat myself up about it. Or, you know, if I'm dealing with some other problem, it's easy for me to be too analytical about it and not kind of step back. And I don't know, it's just easy to get caught up in my head about blaming myself or you know, focusing on the negative emotions that I feel because of the experience that I'm having. And the perspective of stepping back from that and I think the phrase that the author uses, hold the suffering like a child, is just fascinating. Anyways, I've really, really enjoyed it so far. But Berkeley, have you been reading the book you stole from me?
I have been reading the book I stole from you called Being Peace, also by Thich Nhat Hanh. And yeah, it's so funny that we both started reading those at the same time. Like, what are the odds? Yeah, this author's so good. He is a Vietnamese monk. Actually, I don't know if he's still alive. Is or was a Vietnamese monk, who was like helping people a lot during the Vietnam War. Um, so really knows his stuff. Is acquainted with the highs and lows of humanity, I would say. Um, I've read like a handful of Buddhist books over the last year, and this one, more than any other, has like been uh, practical, I want to say. Um, like it has acknowledged that you might be a human being with a spouse and kids and a job, and like told you how to live these Buddhist principles as part of a society instead of as like, a stereotypical person who has separated themselves from society and like living in isolation. So I've really appreciated that about this author. So if you're interested in Buddhism, um I recommend this author for sure. I'll post some links in our Discord after this, so you can go look him up. Um, and I do want to say, like, his books, you don't have to accept everything he's saying from like a theological or a religious or even a spiritual perspective. I think he's just got a great worldview on like suffering and humanity and beauty and a lot of cool lessons that you can take away, even if you don't want to take the literal theological beliefs as well. That was our daily dose of seriousness. Let me catch up on the chat who's saying respect Willie. Respect is earned. You don't think that hat is wiggity wonderful.
Yeah, it's still wiggity wiggly for me.
One last thing I want to say about Buddhism, and then if you have last things you want to say about Buddhism, I feel like there's so many philosophies and worldviews that say here is exactly what you need to do to never feel suffering again. And Buddhism says you're always going to suffer. Let's learn how to live with that and be cool with it instead of like obsessing over how you wish things were different, which is just super nice and refreshing.
Yeah, in fact, I would say that that is a critical barrier to happiness for a lot of people. Waiting to enjoy life until everything is going the way you want it to go, um, instead of really having the experience that you're having, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like you're not even really living your own life. That was my experience of my early 20s, at least. Um, Berkeley,
Um,
a trout derby has just started. I think this is a new event. I haven't heard of this before. Should we go participate?
yeah, let's go do it. I've never seen it before either. Yeah, Megan Susie says that's a new 1.6 thing. And Chance says you're going to suffer, but you're going to be happy about it. That's exactly it. That is what I've learned about Buddhism from these few books I've read. Okay, you said go to the river by Marnie's house. On my way. Okay, chat, while we're getting ready for this quick survey, what's the weather like in your area? Because I saw snow today and it made me very unhappy.
All right. During this event, rainbow trout have a chance of carrying a golden tag. If you find one, turn it in here for a prize, which is a visit to a chocolate factory owned by a deranged madman that will give it to you, along with thousands of abducted individuals forced to work and make chocolate.
Sorry, that was a great reference, but I'm just laser focused on catching these fish.
That is A-okay. There's a lot of people here I don't recognize. I want to beat them up. Get out of my valley.
Oh, I found a mystery box.
Whoa.
That feels weird. Okay, I think someone said it earlier. What do you do with the mystery boxes? Chance says it's hailed for a few minutes there. I'm sorry. I feel like that's worse than snow.
Hail is very uncomfortable. I don't I I don't like them very much when it hails and it's loud. Weather should either be comfortable or quiet. Preferably both.
Jared hates tornadoes.
Yeah, true. I've never been through a tornado. The
I hate
closest
them
thing
on
I've been
principle.
into a tornado was the Texas rain, which probably is not even close. But the fact that we haven't let tornadoes dissuade us from living in large swaths of America is kind of surprising to me. I guess it's kind of random where it's going to end up within the large geographical area that makes up Tornado Alley.
I just caught a Dorado. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
I got the golden ticket.
Nice.
Get rewards. I got a tent kit. Um, tent kit. Use this to deploy a one-time use tent for sleeping. Can only be used outdoors. I know where you're staying tonight, Berkeley.
Any tent is one-time use if you take it down bad enough. Ooh, I got a golden tag as well. And then I tried to fish at the rewards, man. Jen says, other than the hail, it's been raining all day. Sinus Relief says, mountains here got 2 feet of snow in 3 days. That's
Wow.
exciting. That makes me feel optimistic for the continued existence of the Great Salt Lake.
Oh yeah. How is the looming arsenic storm threat faring?
It's looming. It's there. It's under the water. Just waiting to not be under the water.
Yeah, we kind of have a similar problem where I live. We're really dependent on an aquifer for our drinking water, and um, let's just say that its level has been declining steadily for many years, and will potentially be below usable uh, within the next 30 years. So,
Ugh.
yep, good times.
Sinus Relief says the Trout Fest golden ticket gets you into Walleye Wonka's Walleye Wonka's fish factory. That
You can
it all
actually
looks
make
like
a pretty
candy.
decent parallel of the Willy Wonka movie. Like, instead of a chocolate river, it's just a regular river. Although, like, the plates made of chocolate, plates made of fish might not be very
It's gonna
appetizing.
smell for
Yeah.
sure, yeah. Sinus Relief says that looks like candy, but it's actually slimy and fishy. Okay, I caught my one golden ticket. I'm gonna go do some more chores because I think our animals are gonna be mad at us if I
Oh,
don't take care of
is it
them.
only one per day?
I'm not sure.
Okay, well, science dictates that I have to continue to fish to find out, right?
Yeah. Okay, Sinus Relief said something that got censored on my screen. Uh, the suckers are fish. There we go. Yeah, we got to turn down the auto censoring on our chat. This is a little ridiculous. Meg says there are more prizes, silly. You can get so many. That sounds like something you would say if you're trying to get the chickens to unite against me.
We're gonna live out Animal Farm, but just the chickens.
Oh, I almost sold a battery pack. That would have been so bad. And by so bad, I mean not really that bad. But we will need to get them to Ginger Island one day.
What?
I was listening to a podcast from the McElroy brothers who do My Brother and Me, and Adventure Zone, and they described the new Timothy Chalamet movie as a Willy or Won'ty Wonka movie. I thought that was good,
What is the new
but not
Timothy
quite as
Chalamet
good.
film?
Oh, just the Wonka movie that
Oh,
he was
gotcha,
in.
gotcha. Okay, yeah, not quite as
Not as
good.
good as Walleye Wonka though.
Agreed. Agreed. Walleye Wonka. That's gonna be my new Halloween costume. It'll be Willy Wonka, but then
But
I'll be handing out like tinned
fish.
sardines. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Meg's throwing shade in the chat for me not taking care of the chickens first thing when I woke up. You guys can't see this because you're watching Jared's screen, but I do farm chores all day long.
The truth comes out. Berkeley
I
doesn't own the house, but he does all the work.
Our farm has become so labor intensive. I think that's not the way that Stardew Valley usually goes. If you're doing more crops, there's a lot more like stuff you can do to automate it. I guess we should have auto feeders by now, but we don't.
And you might be thinking, wow, Jared, couldn't you be more helpful? And the answer is yes. Will I be? We'll
Well,
see.
you're entertaining the masses while I take care of business.
You see, but if you ask the masses about that, I don't know if they'd agree.
Masses, are you or are you not entertained?
If this treasure box doesn't have a golden ticket in it, I'm going to be very upset. It's coal! Yay, coal! Just what I needed. And river jelly. Yeah, all right. Well, should I use the tent tonight just to see what it's like?
Sure, yeah, that sounds fun.
I guess it is coming up on that time of the evening, so I can use it, and then if it's cool, I can save it to use it again, and if not, I still get to use it again because we won't be saving our next day. There's my other golden tag. Let's go. Get rewards. 3 Omni Geode. All right. Those are decently rare, I guess.
All right, sorry, chat. I'm ignoring you because I'm frantically trying to do a day's worth of farm chores in a couple hours. I will catch up soon. Oh, I forgot to milk the cows. No, I did not forget to milk the cows. I just lost the milk in my inventory.
Another golden tag. Be something cool. It is bucket hat. What?
Bucket hat, like the cool kids wear.
Uh, distinctly no. This is the hat from Meet the Robinsons that turns everybody into evil
Okay.
goob controlled zombies. It's the
Whoa,
bowler hat.
spoilers, man.
Oh, sorry. I forgot that some of you might not have been alive in 2005 to watch the film or whenever it came out. That would have been probably 2011, right?
I don't know. It was a
No, that's
while
way
ago,
too
whatever it
late.
was.
It was middle school times. 2007, 2006, somewhere in there.
Okay, I'm also gonna sleep in a tent, but right outside our house, maybe. Oh no, you can't do it on the farm, maybe. Um, okay, Susie says, today I learned about an ocean in the Earth's crust that has the volume 3 times larger than that of all of Earth's surface oceans combined. What?
That's pretty
That is
awesome.
insane. That's I feel like we can use that. At some point that's gonna like be instrumental in avoiding an apocalypse.
I feel the
Um,
other way. I bet if we use it, it'll cause the Earth's crust stability to decrease and seismic events will increase in frequency and severity, and then
I mean,
it'll be
two things
bad.
can be true, like if your choices are die of thirst in the year 2500 or have the earth crust collapse in 2600.
You are thinking like an oil executive.
Don't say that. Meg says auto grabber, I hardly know her. Quoting
That's
me.
pretty
I did
good.
not say that.
Ha cha
I guess I
cha.
did just now. Ha cha cha. Sinus Relief says just don't find oil, otherwise you'll have bigger problems than Joja. Shout out to Richard Cheney.
Berkeley, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Is the annual Trout Derby a multi day event? Because it is still happening for me.
Well, I think that you've answered your own question there.
I guess, is it a bug or not? Like, because I
This
used the
game doesn't
tent.
have bugs. Just
I
kidding.
have I have eaten enough bug meat to know that that's not true.
You got me there. I feel like this is one of those games where when people go on Reddit and say, "Hey, I experienced this bug," the first question is always, "You have mods, don't you?" Because that's like the only time the game is noticeably buggy.
Ah, all right. Well, I guess we'll find out next time we load if it's still there.
Oh yeah, are we at time? Do we need to call it?
We are, but
Okay.
it has been a good time.
I will stop frantically doing farm chores then.
The futility. Well,
All right.
it's been a few weeks, but thanks for joining us once again for the classic Stardew Valley Tools Aren't Real edition. We debated today whether or not we were going to play Suffering Farm, No Sleep Farm, the worst farm, but we decided to just bring it back to the classic. So maybe another time we'll pick up Suffering.
Yeah. I just wanted to see that million gold in the corner and hear you complain about us not upgrading the backpack.
It's music to my ears.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for joining. Don't forget to join our Discord channel if you haven't already. We had a couple people join since last time, so welcome Chance and Androxima to the Discord party. Share your music recommendations. Come see how to spell Thich Nhat Hanh, excuse me. Uh, come tell us what games you're playing. Come tell us how much you hate when we don't play Borderlands. All those things and more can be said on Discord. Link to that and links to our other social media is in the bio if you are on Instagram. What am I saying? In the description of this video if you're watching on YouTube, or in the about section of our profile if you are on Twitch. I do believe that's it. Thanks everyone, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.